Game 1 is going to be taking place on Royal Blood. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion, one of the best Terrans in the world. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Canadian Zerg player, the best Zerg player in all of North America, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And if you've been tuning into this channel, and if you've been watching any of our series that we cast of ByuN versus Dark, you would know that ByuN is all about that 2 racks. Regardless of his opponent, whether it's Dark, Solar, Ragnarok, even Scarlett, ByuN has been very fond of the low ground 2 racks opener in TvZ. Almost every single series he does this. It's just his thing. No one else does it, by the way. I think we've seen Maru whip it out like occasionally, like once a month, you know, if that. But ByuN, every single TvZ, he is so fond of this. With this, he's going to be going into, of course, Reapers. He's going to be going into Mass Reaper. He can mask this with a 3 racks as well if he throws on a 3rd racks in his main base. But typically, he just uses this for map control to get some economic damage, maybe even delay the 3rd base, and macro behind this. It's like Eric, you know, that macro. Right? And yeah, I don't know if there's any like interviews out there. I don't know why ByuN has become so fond of this opener. I mean, obviously he loves Reapers, and as a player, you love getting map control and you love asserting yourself early on and dictating the pace of the game. So I understand the rationale, but yeah, it's it's so interesting and so peculiar because ByuN is like the only player that is committed to this. Just very ByuN. Alright, here we go. The first Reaper is zooming across the map, is going to be showing up here at the natural, going to be as annoying as possible, forcing reaction, forcing a dance here between the Reaper and the Lings. At least Scarlett does sneak out with her drone, but she should be able to get her 3rd base up on time. You love to see it. And there we go. We have our 2nd Reaper on the way and our 3rd Reaper behind this. And again, we're going to be stopping here at 3 Reapers and throwing down our CC as well, going for our add-ons. It's one of those things where ByuN doesn't matter where he spawns either. It doesn't matter if he's in the top right or the bottom left. Even if his add-ons are exposed, he still goes for this. Like, it doesn't matter. He's crazy, Pop. He's crazy. So you could argue that this is like vulnerable to a Bane bust or something along those lines, but because of these 3 Reapers, like ByuN, he's so good with his control, with his scouting as well, and with his reactions. Like, it's so difficult to punish this. We saw, I think a month ago, Dark was trying to roach roll in ByuN in their best of 5 series. He was trying to punish this, but he just couldn't. He just, every single time ByuN was so quick to scout and so quick to react, he would start Marauder production, he would throw down bunkers, and he'd be fine against them. It's crazy. It's very like Spirit-esque. We talk about it a lot. Spirit is very fond of CC firsts. He's very fond of greedy openers. And we always talk about how like, oh, he's so vulnerable to like early roach timings or stuff like that, but Spirit is so good at defending anyway, like it just doesn't matter. Meanwhile, you see Scarlett moving out now with Ling speed and oh, does catch one of those Reapers. Great use of the terrain here. ByuN is able to escape with the other 2 for the time being. Scarlett trying to cut him off. As Lings are moving out behind this, we're just droning up, we're just saturating our natural and our 3rd bases. Lings, they confirm the wall and they confirm that Stim is being researched, so she knows it is going to be a biocentric army and we're not like going for a weird transition into into mech behind it. Meanwhile, behind this, we do have a 3rd and even a 4 racks as well. So we have a 4 racks follow-up by ByuN. This is going to hit hard. There are going to be so many Marines here with Stim and combat shields. It's going to be crazy. Now, ByuN is kind of known for this. Again, he's known for this opener. He's known for this follow-up. So Scarlett should be aware, especially because she's his teammate. I don't know if they practice too much together, but regardless, like there is a lot of information out on ByuN, and as a pro player, I'm sure she's aware. We'll see if she can react and what her response is going to be. As again, that's a lot of Marines. We're going to be moving out here with Stim and Combat Shields, bearing in mind that we don't have medevacs to support this, so every single Stim is going to hurt the army that much more, but the Marines are moving on out. Scarlett is cutting drones here at 55. She's got a 4th base on the way. Ling Bane is in production, but is she going to have enough? Hitting just over the 5-minute mark. We have Banelings being morphed in the left-hand side. I love this. Maybe trying to lure in the army with her queens and her lings. Every single queen is brought forward as well. Oh, but the Banelings are spotted. And ByuN is started stepping forward here. The Banelings are making their way over, but yeah, ByuN is not going to be risking it. He will back off. It's going to be clearing creep and forcing a reaction. Behind this, we have +1 on the way. We have medevacs, soon to be medevacs, tanks, starports. And I don't really think ByuN has to commit here. I think forcing a reaction, forcing delayed droning as well is going to be enough for ByuN. He already stimmed once, so this army again is already a little bit bruised. Don't want to go in too hard. Behind this, we have our 4th. We've got a couple of macro hatches on the way as well. Evo chambers for 1-1. Scarlett committing into Ling Bane. And has ByuN lost much here? No, he's only lost a single Reaper so far this game. So again, he's been very careful to make sure that his Marine count is kept safe and sound. Once these medevacs come out, then ByuN can be a little bit more aggressive. He can afford to stim, and he can be going for those multi-prong aggressions or multi-prong attacks. Just gonna be poking and clearing out some of that creep. This layer is actually pretty delayed. I just realized that bailing speed is gonna be pretty far off because of that. Oh, and Scarlett has to be very careful. She does not want to fight off creep. Not with slow banes. Here we go, bailing speed finally in production. I guess Scarlett was maybe anticipating ByuN to be a little bit more all-in, so that's why she did delay the lair as much as she has. But ByuN now meets up with his tanks, with his medevacs, can now focus on this push. And bailing speed is not going to be ready for this. I really do worry for Scarlett. She does have a lot of Ling Bane, to be fair. I love it. She's going to be going for a massive surround. This will mean that these Marines are going to have a hard time escaping these banelings. Here we go. Scarlett is getting ready. The Marines are stimming on forward. And Scarlett is looking to pull the trigger. The banelings do push in, and the Lings coming from behind. There is no way out. The slow banes, they find their connections. Oh, and the Marines get cleaned up. The tanks as well. Who needs bailing speed? Who needs it? Scarlett swallows up the army, and from here she can drone, takes the 4th base, and has to very quickly respread this creep. Because ByuN, he doesn't want to slow down. He needs to, though. Behind this, no 3rd CC. He's pretty damn committed. He's pretty all in, to be honest. They're only on 46 SCVs. Losing that first push, that may just be it. Like, we have a second one getting ready, but the first one is typically the strongest. Oh, there's that 3rd CC. Very late here from ByuN. Definitely not plan A, not plan B either. This is, yeah, ambitious, to say the least. But ByuN has multi-prong aggression like no other. He can go for the drop play. He's got 2 medevacs behind the main base. He's got a main push here on the right-hand side as well. He's going to try to come back in this game. And as he pushes out, the Lings are going to confirm the worst. The ByuN is still on 2 bases. Another tank. And because of that, there's not too much pressure on Scarlett. And the tanks, they get caught on siege as well. One of the tanks will go down. The Liberators force the siege up in a really awkward position as well. And Scarlett is honestly in full control at this point. Like, there's honestly not too much threatening about this army. The tank gets dropped. The Marines get left behind. The double drop is looking to come back in, but Scarlett has wisely left so much of her Lings back at home that she's safe. The drops just can't find any damage. Now ByuN is going to attempt to take his 3rd. I mean, there is a world where he can come back here if he's somehow able to keep Scarlett back at home and not lose too much of his army. Then, I mean, anything is possible, but at this level of play, like, we're on some high tier Terran copium, Poppy. Let's go. As Scarlett maxes out, she's coming in from behind with her queens as well. Liberators will siege, but they're not really going to take a part in this fight. The tanks go down one after the other, and once again the queens come in from behind. Ay. And with the death of those tanks, there's honestly nothing stopping Scarlett from going for a counterattack. We do have that double jump going to the main base, but again, Lings are waiting back at home. GG gets called. Scarlett does take game number 1, survives the 4 racks, survives the basically 2 base all in with slow banes. You love to see it. GG. Really impressive, to be honest. The surround, the setup was beautiful. Oh. Scarlett finds herself up 1-0 in this best of 3. ByuN, is he going to stop opening up 2 racks? No. No way. No way he stops. But the transition, I think he probably will. Probably will switch that up. As we're going to be getting ready for game number 2, which is going to be taking place on Gressvan. Asher feels Zerg, man. S to Asher, the Terran apologist has arrived. Ay. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressvan. We have our South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion, currently down in this series, up against the wall in this best of 3. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gressvan, we have his opponents. We have the Canadian Zerg player. We have his teammates, also representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. Scarlett, she's already up 1-0 in this series. 1 game away from advancing on through. Oh my god. And she's opening up with a gas pool opener. Okay, I'm concerned. I'm concerned for Scarlett. So ByuN is going for the 2 racks. Once again, he should every single game of this series. And you can make an argument that this is a bad position for ByuN because, hey, we're on Gressvan, which means the opener here, the opening to the natural, is huge. It's so big, it's so wide. You have a lot of surface area on these buildings. On top of that, his add-ons are going to be exposed as well, right? So logically, it makes sense to try and punish this. But ByuN likes it. He likes it when you try to punish his build. He's going for a 3rd Rax, by the way, in the main base. So he's going to be going into Mass Reaper here. Going to be very aggressive early on. Scarlett, likewise, is going to have access to Link speed very quickly. 100 gas already. We're pulling out at 100, so we're not going to be going into a Bane Bust. We're not going to be going into a Roach Push either. Only speed links. We'll see how this dynamic plays out. As Scarlett's going to be sending her links across the map. The first Reaper is moving out. Scarlett will confirm the 2 racks opener, as to be expected, but the Overlord will not be able to see the 3rd racks hidden in the main. So Scarlett doesn't have the full picture here. Here we go. We are going for our 3rd base. Yeah, and going to be confirming the pool first as well, or the delayed hatchery. And he needs to figure out how committed and how all in this is going to be. He does grenade that queen, dips in towards the main, and he sees 0 mining here for the gas geyser. He also confirms that 100 gas has been mined, and there we go, that link speed is on the way. So ByuN has all the information he needs to just keep making Reapers. He can just keep going. Just make Reapers, forehead. Oh. And Scarlett is going to have a window here where she gets link speed very quickly. We'll see if she can punish these Reapers. See a bit of a wall being set up with that Evo chamber. Again, a Spore can be focused down. The Lings are going to be trying to catch some of these reinforcements, but now with 4 Reapers, like, we just don't really have the numbers here for Scarlett. The Reaper count is too high. At least, we can't fight without the Queens, I should say. Here we go, the Queens are brought forward to the natural. Reaper is going to be rotating up into the main. Again, Ling's trying to catch some of these reinforcements, but this is spotted by ByuN. He pulls back. And yeah, these Lings aren't going to find much of anything here. They at least force the reinforcements to stay back at home, so that will buy Scarlett some time here as she amasses another wave of Lings. She wants to keep on going. But she may be caught out. ByuN looking to hunt down these Lings, and he will find them. Oof. The best trades here for Scarlett. She's going to be bleeding out some of these Lings. Again, back at home, though, she's going back into droning. I'm curious as well, like, how she's going to keep up with this. She has enough Queens to defend on 3 bases. Her third, though, is a little bit exposed. Behind this, we're throwing down a third TC, basically double expanding for ByuN. We have our add-ons on the way. We are transitioning into Marines, into Marauders. And who's ahead after all said and done? I do think that ByuN is in a better position. Like, Scarlett with her opener, like, was already setting herself a little bit behind economically, and she's made so many Lings as well, but she hasn't done anything with them. Like, she needs to find some value. She needs to catch these Reapers. If she doesn't, again, all these Lings, or a lot of them could have been drones. As a result, ByuN is on par with her worker count, on par with her economy. Oh, here we go, though. Scarlett's setting up a surround. And these Reapers, they have nowhere else to go. Finally, Scarlett's going to be able to find the Reapers that she's been looking for. The grenade's going to make this a little bit awkward. But every single Reaper should go down. Oh, 2 of them do escape. That's okay. That's okay for Scarlett. From here, we're just droning as heavily as possible. We're trying to catch back up here. Eventually, we'll take our gases once again. Oh. We're okay, bye. We're okay. And from here, ByuN just has to completely give up his map control. You could argue that he was just being a little bit too greedy, too cavalier. You know, being active with all those Reapers is punished for it. From here, Scarlett's still expanding, or she's throwing down her 4th, getting a macro hatch. I imagine going to be taking her gases soon, getting into her lair, into bailing speed. Now, what's a little bit scary is that I believe we're going to be seeing a double medevac drop here before we have too many banelings, or before we have any banelings with speed, at least. So ByuN is going to have some counterattack potential. So there we go, the medevacs are on the way. 3rd base is about to be taken. But Scarlett's not in a bad position right now. Not bad whatsoever. So let's be careful with these Lings. Just going to be confirming the 3rd base being taken. Can't really engage with these Marines. Not yet, anyway. As we're going to be fully saturating here on these 3 bases. We have some catching up to do when it comes to our gas income. But we're getting there. There we go. 1-1 on the way. Lair's about to finish up. We have enough gas to start bailing speed immediately. But now that ByuN has his medevacs, he can be active on the map. And the onus is going to be on him to find some damage. Behind this, we're getting into Widowmine production. 2 more axes, 5 in total. Getting into our upgrades. Unfortunately, there's no overlords here in position, so ByuN is going to be able to slip into the main base undetected. The Lings going to take a little bit here to respond. But Scarlett only loses 1 drone. Could have been a lot worse. The positioning though. The SimCity, he's going for the spawning pool. Oh, he's going to get it. No. The spawning pool is going to be going down here. We have another double drop here at the 3rd base as well. This one is going to be handled quite nicely. But again, because of the positioning, he denied speed. Bailing speed gets denied. No, he's going to get the evo chambers as well. Mate, this is crazy. Ay. Everything was looking so good here for Scarlett. She had 1-1 on the way. She had bailing speed as well, and she loses almost all of her tech. Mate, give ByuN some medevacs and he can make some magic happen. The double drop here at the third base didn't get cleaned up, by the way. Keeps on pushing forward. He can focus down and he will get the fourth base. How? Ay. Scarlett maybe making a bit of a mistake, taking into Hydras a little bit too early on without having enough wing main to defend her bases. Again, didn't see the double drop until it was too late, and oh boy. ByuN, he hasn't just caught up, he's ahead. He's straight up ahead right now. The spawning pool was remade, but we still have that Baneling nest on the way. We still have to rebuild Baneling speed. Great splits against the mines, but oh, we have a good detonation there. We have the target firing as well. The Banelings, they will not find their connections. GG gets called, and ByuN in one swift move comebacks and takes game number 2. I'm a little bit in awe. Oh my god. That was insane. GG. Things went very bad very quickly there for Scarlett. Like that one double drop into the main base, gets the spawning pool, Baneling nest, Evo chamber. He kills the 4th hatchery as well. How? Oh my god. It's not like Scarlett. Yeah. Only ByuN can pull something like that off. My god. GG. Well played. Yeah, just a little bit unfortunate there for Scarlett not to have her Lings in position to deny that drop, taking it to Hydras the way that she did as well. Maybe a little bit too greedy, maybe not respecting the potential that ByuN has as a player. Which I don't blame her. And here we go. We're getting into game number 3. We're getting into the ace match. We have a tied up series, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have ByuN himself apparently on fire, fighting back in game 2, coming back in such a spectacular fashion, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have his opponent. We have the Canadian Zerg player, also representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And it should be no surprise to anyone at this point in the chat. Doesn't matter if you haven't been watching ByuN recently, but watching this series should be enough to tell you that ByuN is going for the 2 racks. Because of course he is. Because it's TvZ. It's just what he does. And to be fair, we have seen some different variations this series. You know, game 1, ByuN went for a 2 racks into a 4 racks follow-up, into a 2-base all-in basically. Game 2, he went for a 3 racks opener. We hid his 3rd racks in his main base to try to keep Scarlett in the dark, into a much more macro-oriented game. So we'll see what ByuN has in store for us here in game 3. As Scarlett is going to be going for a hatch gas pool opener. Nothing too crazy. The Overlord is going to be zooming across the map and going to be confirming that the racks are indeed on the low ground. But that last game, it's crazy, Poppy. It was crazy. I just, yeah. Micro Jackson, Poppy. But yeah, we are able to confirm those 2 racks. I wonder if Scarlett is going to commit her Overlord into the main base to see if there's a 3rd one, especially based off of what happened last game. I'm curious if she's going to take that into consideration or not. Until then, though, until now, we're just going to be droning like normal. We've got a decent amount of Lings on the way, though. More than just our typical 4, we're going up to 8 Lings here to make sure that the Reapers don't get out of hand. Third base is going to be on the way. Scarlett actually going around here to take the linear 3rd, and there we go. The hatchery is going to be thrown down. Love to see it. So no delayed 3rd. We've been able to keep the majority of these Lings alive as well. So great control here from Scarlett as 3-person Lings do dance with each other. And we aren't staying into gas either. So So far, the response seems pretty tame and pretty standard from Scarlett. Behind this, ByuN isn't going for a third or a fourth Rax. He's going straight into that factory and going for a third TC. Okay, so far, every single game, ByuN has transitioned a little bit differently. You're just making 3 Reapers and then just, yeah, immediately, in a way, double expanding. So much more macro standard variation here from ByuN. Again, it just goes to show like how much versatility he has with this 2-Rax opener. It's kind of insane. It's crazy, Papi. It's crazy. And even with Ling speed, we can see ByuN dance and fight toe-to-toe here with all these Lings. Is able to eventually respect them and is going to back off. As he confirmed the third, he hasn't quite gotten eyes on that third hatchery, so he's a little bit in the dark.
This better be good.
Gonna be checking the triangular third location as he still hasn't seen it. Checks the center base as well, and should eventually go over here to the right-hand side just to make sure there's no 2-base all incoming. There we go. He finally gets eyes on that. So he knows that Scarlett is playing normal and standard for the most part. Knows that there's nothing really to be afraid of. As here at the 4-minute mark, Scarlett is actually going to be prioritizing her Bailey Nest here instead. Interesting. A pretty early Bailey Nest, to be honest. Okay. Ling's going to be dancing in with the Reapers. 1 Reaper is going to be going down, and yeah, I feel like Scarlett, she's going to go for a Bane Bust. An early Bailey Nest like this is going to be a tell, and every Reaper goes down. ByuN is going to be in the dark. He does not know. Scarlett is done droning. 44 drones. Oh no, actually, we're going back into droning. We have a massive wave of Lings on the way, but we are going to be focusing on our economy behind this, so we're not going to be going all in, but we're just committing quite a bit here to these Lings. I'm curious if Scarlett saw something. I mean, I'm sure she saw all these Lings here, but it looks like she's kind of deviating her plan. So unfortunately, this is going to hurt Scarlett a little bit. Like, a lot of these extra Lings that she made could have been drones, especially because it's not a 1-1-1 opener. Like, there are no Hellions or anything like that. Like, these Lings don't really have too many uses if we're not going to be aggressive. So they're just going to be testing, poking and prodding the front wall as Scarlett re-drones and goes into her 4th. So Scarlett had the option to go into a lot more Lingbane aggression, but decided against it. Here we go. The lair is going to be on the way. So unfortunately, this did delay the lair as well. So hopefully we can get into Baneling speed. Fingers crossed here as ByuN is coming out with his double drop, coming out with his Marines. Went for a Raven first as well, which is something you don't see too often. And with that Raven, is going to be able to clean up a lot of this creep. Up. Oh, but flies too close to the sun. The Raven does get focused down. We'll get 1 queen, but the Lings and Banelings are here to defend. Scarlett should have enough. That Raven not really paying for itself, to be honest. Like, we saw a little bit of auto turret harass, which was really cute, and we cleaned up some of these tumors, but yeah, kind of wild. Kind of crazy. Scarlett is free to saturate her bases as well. I mean, prioritizing that Raven and throwing it away like that, I do think that that's definitely a good thing here for Scarlett. She's going to be able to saturate her 4th base at this point, respread all of this creep. She has a lot of control here. Hopefully we do start Baneling speed soon, though. 1-1 is on the way. Here we go. The Marines are going to be stimming on forward, clearing up this creep once again. Shouldn't be able to do more than just that. Am I missing something? Yeah, Scarlett is going straight into that Hydra den as well, and still no Baneling speed. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Scarlett has noticed, thankfully, and she does have it on the way. Hopefully the timing of this doesn't impact her defense too much, as there is going to be a window here, a larger window where she won't have that available, and ByuN can maybe abuse that. As he's starting to move out with his army. More of these creep tumors are going to be cleaned up. Oh, and this is going to be a decent catch here from ByuN as well. He's going to be able to focus down so many of these Marines. Sorry, so many of these Lings. And even a couple of Banelings. Does take one to the face, though. So ByuN is forced back. Behind this, we have 5 Raxes here between these 2 bases. We have 3 more on the way. We are taking our gases, though, so we are working with 8 Raxes, but ByuN is looking to transition out of this. Pretty bio-heavy style here with 2-2 on the way. But again, Lingbane is what we really should be prioritizing here to defend. Scarlett risking it a little bit here by investing into these Hydras. Ugh. Here we go, the Marines are stimming on 4. They take down one of those queens. They're going to get a second queen as well. This is going to eat into the creep spread. Ending speed is now done, and Scarlett is setting up a surround. Oh, we're coming in from behind a little bit prematurely, but regardless, we're getting on top of the tanks. The Baileys will find their connections. The tanks will go down, but we have to be careful not to overextend. Because ByuN is not stopping. He's going to keep on pushing here, and Scarlett lost a lot of her creep. It's going to take quite some time to rebuild. A double drop being set up. It looks like with the death of those tanks, ByuN doesn't have as much straight up pushing power. It's going to split off instead. Apply some pressure here on the front lines. Going to go for that double drop on the right hand side. Scarlett setting up for another surround. We even see ByuN investing into vehicle upgrades. That's not something you see too often. See tanks and libs on the way. Again, no 4th CC. ByuN being hyper aggressive with this. And Scarlett is still teching, by the way. She's going to be able to come in from behind and once again dive on top of this tank. Oh god, but the positioning is too good. So many of those Banelings were targeted down, and we're even losing the Hydras. This was not a good fight for Scarlett. Oh boy. And ByuN could just snowball from here. We have that double drop on the right-hand side as well. Scarlett is being pulled apart. Fighting off of creep is always a rough thing, and here on Neo Humanity, it's just so difficult to keep that creep shred up and running. Especially with ByuN just in your face. And he's broken through the 4th base. The drop on the right-hand side does get forced to pick up, but it's too much. GG gets called. ByuN with the 8 racks. Was too much in the end. Overwhelmed and overpowered, and takes down Scarlett. GG. Oh my god. Yeah, Scarlett, she was working on Infestation Pit. She was working on her Hive towards the end. A little bit too further ahead. And some of those fights as well outside that 4th base were kind of brutal as well. ByuN just using the terrain so well there to kind of make it awkward for the Lingbane to engage with the Marines. The tank shots were getting so much value as well. Oof. GG. GG. ByUnstoppable. ByUntastic. ByUntacular. Oh, all the ByUns, papi. GG, well played. Again, though, I do feel like the highlight of the series was Game 2. The highlight. I know it ended very abruptly. Sorry. In Game 2, but ByuN coming back with his drop play was insane. Here it was a little bit more straight up. GG. GG, well played. And ByuN will advance on to, I believe, the semi-finals.